My name is Anouk Bekkers. I am presenting you Join Collective Clothes. Join is a project that researches fashion as a collective practice. To do so, I developed a modular clothing system. This system divides the garment into 4 elements: a top, a sleeve, a trouser leg, and a skirt. This modular clothing system is translated into a manual. I am not the designer of this project. Everybody is invited to participate and design an element, from home or during one of the workshops. Together, the pieces made by various makers create a series of clothing pieces, a collective collection. This project turns the garment into a fluid object by deconstructing it into exchangeable elements. This offers an alternative and sustainable perspective from which we can question the ways fashion is produced. But it also explores characteristic values in fashion such as ownership, identity, and authenticity. Head over to the website to find out how you can join.
Hi, my name is Iris van Wees. Let me introduce you to the creative world of 3D virtual fashion design. The collection is inspired by the digital implementations of our current life. It gives an introduction to the future of fashion.
I'm Aurélie Fontan and I'm a fashion designer and also a researcher in the field of biology and biomimicry. I studied in Edinburgh. Within my department I had to produce a collection of 6 outfits for my final project, and I decided to go into the field of biology and biomimicry to apply to fashion design. My work kind of sits at different crossroads. There is science, there is biology, fashion and sustainability, as well as technology and innovation. So I like to mix and match those different disciplines. The dress that I grew actually was made of kombucha. Kombucha is a probiotic drink, and when you brew it you use a mix of bacteria and yeast. My whole project is based on the DNA concept, and so it's an interesting dialogue between the scale of the human skin and the mushroom skin to something that goes much bigger within the realm of pattern and DNA, and how to translate that type of thing into a fashion discipline.
Juliana García Bello, diseñadora de indumentaria graduada de la Universidad de Buenos Aires. Mi trabajo está inspirado en la provincia de Tierra del Fuego, Argentina, donde nací y crecí. García Bello habla de las experiencias cotidianas y eventos personales que representan a muchos de nosotros. Busca mantener una identidad nacional y procesos sostenibles, basados en el sistema de producción circular combinado con algodón biodegradable. La moldería no genera desperdicio, es de talla universal y sin género. Dora Duba es tanto el nombre de mi colección como el de mi abuela. Juntas hicimos este trabajo. Ella ha sido para mí un poderoso ejemplo. Me enseñó muchísimas formas para reutilizar cosas que ya existen. Mi visión sobre el futuro de la moda y la sustentabilidad me encuentra en la búsqueda de poder democratizar el conocimiento.
Flower petals, onion, beetroot and avocado skin are some of the waste materials I like to use to dye my fabrics. I work intuitively around the process of natural dyeing. In my diploma collection, I confronted naturally dyed fabrics with industrially refined materials. My aim is to show that the very traditional craft of natural dyeing is in no sense outdated, especially within the current climate crisis. The ambition is to consciously design fashion pieces which are unique in the way they are made. Therefore, from a customer perspective, it creates a new relationship with the clothing, which leads to more variation and sustainability. I am Barbara Stutz, a fashion and textile designer from Switzerland.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. Or should we say, one man's food is another man's poison. I am a research-based designer who straddles the interface of design and anthropology. Defining myself as a material teller, I aim to explore how the meaning of objects, styles and aesthetic forms change over time and space. Consumption patterns, material migration and neocolonialism are subjects that influence or appear in my work. In the Netherlands, many people believe that clothing donations offer solutions to the poor and needy in Africa. But what kind of impact does the donated clothing have on the people who receive it? Obuniwewu, also known as Dead White Man's Clothing, is a multimedia research project exploring the life of second-hand clothing material in the context of Ghana and the Netherlands. I am working on an archive sharing sender-receiver stories of second-hand clothing. Each look in this collection is representing a clothing passport, which gives insight on the movement and identity of the items. With this project, I want to trigger thoughts and start a dialogue on clothing donation and consumption.
Mother Womb by Savannah Avery is a ready-to-wear, plant-based fashion brand. I create gender-neutral clothing by knitting and weaving responsible plant fibres, which are botanically dyed, cooked and formulated by myself, producing alternatives to materials which are harmful to animals from earth-grown material. I hope to educate, initiating a demand for transparency within the present of our industry, normalising and destigmatising sustainability, so it may be relevant and accessible. My first collection, which shares the name Mother Womb, depicts our Earth in a distant future as a desiccated desert land, the only survivors being a tribe of bugs who climb from between the dry grounds of savannah to dance for rain. The movement of each garment conveys a sense of euphoria. My personal photojournalistic archive of landscapes from my childhood in Africa embody the deep tones of colour throughout. This pays homage to the traditional craftsmanship of the nomadic tribes of the Sahara, specifically the Tuareg people, who naturally hand-dye their clothing, staining their skin tones of indigo. The collection energetically applies luxury to sustainable design, a satirical, utopian preservation of the beauty of our world.
Hi, I'm EU. I come from Taiwan and have graduated from artists a few years ago. My design is about the relationship between human and nature. With this collection, I question myself about the way how I cognize nature in this time that the boundary between virtual and reality deeply blurred. Half of the collection I use stock denim fabric samples and recycled materials. All others are biodegradable materials dyed with botanical dye. For me, sustainability is a design choice and we could make any kind of garment with it. I use different kinds of craftsmanship with them. Crochet, embroidery, hand weaving, and try to deconstruct and reconstruct garment making process by mix different production steps. I think to be sustainable could also mean that we may find a new way to evaluate the process. It could be design process, production, or how we live our life and remain our culture with time.